Yo, 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 what up, motherfuckers? To another episode of Old School Fuckwit. Got you the blurry vision as we wake up very, very early this morning. Got a good morning. Good morning, Basahan. Good morning, Towel. Yeah, all the way from the Philippines. I'm on 4 hours sleep. And I could not go back to sleep after taking mother to work. So I'm a bit dusty. But today's episode is about having a vision. Now, almost completely analogous to today's episode is what happened last night in Footscray on Barclay Street at a small bar called Littlefoot. So one of the Jigsaw Sneakers, if you don't know who they are, look them up. They're probably one of the most prominent underground hip-hop dancers in Melbourne back in the day. And one of their members, Jay Jamero, had organised a night there which had DJs. Mind you, the majority of them were Filipino. And Curve, who's one of the b-boys in Fresh Socks, but also a very, 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 very talented musician, put together a cast of locals to perform live music. Now, it's trippy to think these days, back in the day, if you said to me, hey man, we're going to go out to Footscray for a night, we would have thought you were crazy. That would have been a crazy thought, but now that's the reality, and that's the vision that guys like Jay and Curve and anyone else who wants to, keep it local. Just a throwback saying that we created, like most of us are from the outer suburbs, not inner suburbs like Footscray. So for us to go out, we'd have to go all the way to the city. But now we're that one step closer to home. If we're not already living in the inner suburbs, and we can go to a place like Littlefoot on a Thursday night and get completely fucked up, or just kick back and have fun with local friends and homies while there's talent on, That's the vision. Like, yo, why the fuck do we need to go to the city all the time and kick it with randoms? When we can just do something at a nice local spot in Footscray and have a bloody good time. The thing that is becoming a massive issue in recent years, and people are already writing literature about it and there's documentaries about it, but it is that lack of a vision. So if we relate this all back to, b-boying and hip-hop and that, it's like, besides the commercialization, the re-commercialization of breaking and, being a full-time b-boy or b-girl or dancer and traveling the world to these massive stadiums and battling in front of tens of thousands of people in the crowd, what other visions are there that exist? What other parallel visions can coexist for all the different types of people out there in the world? I'm not an athlete. Fuck about training, I'll dance to stay fit, If I go out to Section 8 on a Tuesday and I'm really feeling the music, let's say I get there at 9 and the night finishes at 11, that's 2 hours straight cardio. Of course, with a beer in the hand and a couple of ciggies. But hey, everyone's got their vices. So it's something that I'll return to. But let's bring in another example, okay? Abhorrent things happening in the world right now. I don't even want to mention them. You just got to switch on the news and you can just see the kinds of bullshit that's going on around the world. There's always an ebb and flow. There's always it's like the fight between good and evil, but the dangerous thing about that is the good side thinks they're not evil and the evil side doesn't think they're evil. It's like how am I say? They just think oppositely. The good guys think they're good. The evil guys think they're good. The evil guys think the good guys are evil. The good guys think the evil guys are evil. It's just, it's fucking stupid. Yeah. And I'm not gonna downplay any of the injustices that are happening to people, but I always go on a tangent. But like, that's gonna be a continuing issue in humanity, and I think if we have a vision, we can take things to another level. And this was supposed to allude to the fact that I went to a night out in Gertrude Street. I believe the name of the shop was Hand in Hand or Hand to Hand. 120 Gertrude Street. You know, little shop. You know, apparel. And this a 17-year-old. I believe he's half Filipino, half Samoan. Shout out to the Austronesians out there. He, from Dandenong, I believe, he's from the east side. He managed to score a pop-up launch for his brand, Judah. So check him out, judah.tribe on Instagram, social media. And this young brother, right, managed to pack out maximum capacity, this one store, maybe even double that capacity, because there were just kids seeping out to the street. This kid's 17, I think, or just turned 18. Sold out of all his garments on his first night on Friday. And then I don't know how he went on the Saturday and Sunday, but he brought in talents. He brought in the Noble Natives, young MCs. You know, they're all like young dudes. You know, in the early 20s. You know, the sound system was shit, but like, and the crowd really wanted to get into it, but they were all there to support. Like, yo, we're here to support a local hip hop act. You know, from the hood. You know, and you know, as an old school fuckbeat, you know, already I'm like, yeah, it sounds fucked. I can't hear the vocals, the bass is fucked, this and that. But as I looked around at all these other young kids, mind you, there was a million different characters, which I'll get to, but they were all going like this. Like they were genuinely there to support. It was like some cool shit, you know? And this kid, Rafi, yeah? Raphael, he's got the vision, you know, based on the things that he's seen and he's studying now. A lot of the old isms are almost non-existent for this next generation, so they have completely fresh minds. Yeah, and I think, let me use this one as an example. There is a book called The Way of the Zen, or something like that. It's written by a Japanese Zen Buddhist monk, yeah? The Beginner's Mind is what it's called. And it always talks about how a human must return to having a beginner's mind. So I've been in the game for about 20 years, yeah? And now I'm coming in and I'm seeing these kids, you know, these post-millennials, you know, and I'm even talking to pre-millennials, you know, and then I'm trying to figure out everything else that's going on in the millennial age group, yeah? And I realized, yo, I just gotta take a step back, pretend I don't know nothing, and just be open to the information coming to me. And then I'll let that digest, and that'll inform me, either by gut feeling or by intellect, what I should do next. And I'm watching this kid, and I'm like, damn, this is like a house party in the suburbs back in the day. At someone that can host a fucking massive party for like 100 people. But instead of doing it at some house and packing out your front yard, your house, and your backyard with peeps, he's doing it on Gertrude Street at a shop. That's fucking next level. What a fucking vision. And if this kid becomes a real successful entrepreneur, bruh, what the fuck am I doing? I've been in this game for 20 years and I can't fucking bring that kind of crowd together. Well, luckily for you, I have done that already. But I'm trying to do something different now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to brag, but it's these reminders, you know? So I've come back to this point where it's like, we must have a vision. You must have a vision. They talk about following your dreams and shit. Well, your dreams, your vision should be part of your dreams. If it isn't, So, like in 2006, right, my partner at the time had just moved over, and I was in a position where I was like, do I just I've been with this girl for 2 years now. Should I just cut this off here and go move over to the United States and pursue a career as a b-boy? Anyone in their right mind that's chasing success would have done that and made that sacrifice, yeah? But instead, I made another sacrifice. I thought to myself, right, I'm going to go to the B-Boy Summit, because B-Boy Summit was like the pinnacle jam in the world, in my opinion. It had everything I liked. It had graffiti, it had popping, it had locking, it had house, it had breaking, it had MCs, it had like independent stalls. They sold food there. It was like a week festival. It was in California, sunny California. Escape, escape the summer, the winter here in Melbourne for a summer there. And I went there, and of course I was mind blown. That was when at the time we were known as Zulu Kings. It was when Zulu Kings battled California in the final round. Boss Jam was the name, BOSS. B-Boy 2006 B-Boy Summit Boss Jam. If you wanna go check that out. And man, like B-Boy Katsu was there, Phantom was representing, K-Mel was there, Casper was killing it, Machine was killing it, Omar, Vix, like the whole kid and caboodle. It was a fucking gangster squad, And on the flight back, I had said to myself, you know what? Even if I moved to the United States, and I followed this dream of becoming a successful b-boy, what would happen if 10, 20 years later I moved back to Melbourne? Which is, I want to die and rest in my hometown, you know what I mean? If not in the motherland, in the Philippines. But what if I was to come back and nothing had changed? That I would come back and I'd be the only dude who had these crazy world experiences, and I didn't have people to share it with. Then I'd have this constant longing to be somewhere away from home to feel good about myself. Fuck that. I want to be around a family. I want to be around a community that supports each other. I want to be part of a society. I want to be part of a culture. That's the vision. Yeah? Like, we're always behind the 8 ball. And the reason why I brought up that negative stuff earlier on the news, it's like, because we're always behind the fucking 8 ball. We're always behind whatever the fuck's going on in the United States, whatever the fuck's going on in fucking Europe, whatever the fuck is going on in fucking Asia. Yeah? Africa. But what the fuck is going on in Melbourne? What the fuck is going on in Sydney? What the fuck is going on in fucking St. Albans, Footscray? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how we really should be thinking. We have more than enough talent here. We have more than enough infrastructure here to really create something of our own. I think it suits Melbourne culture to be full coffee snobs, because it's kind of like part of our entitled, pretentious Australian nature. You know what I mean? Oh, fucking Mr. Speaker, I want to talk to the other party about how biting should be allowed in breakdance. Like, fuck off, dickhead. Let's talk about some serious shit here. I digress. I guess, if we can bring one more thing up, yeah? When I was 17, 18, let's start from 16. When I was 16, I got brought into the hip-hop world at Planet of the Breaks. And that was run by DJ Peril. And it was the first time I'd seen like what hip-hop was in a night setting. Prior to that, I'd already seen b-boying, breaking, like on the street with hitters. But here is like a place where I saw dudes dance in a really tiny space. I'm like, right, this is what this hip hop shit is about, right? Then we traveled to Sydney, and we went to see the Australia versus New Zealand battle to see to decide who would fly to Battle of the Year to represent their countries. And of course, NZ won at that time because, the Maori and the Pacific Islanders, Polynesians out there, they just, they were big dudes, they had the skills, they had the strength, and they could dance, And then we met all these, like, overseas dancers, like Japanese, European, and, at the time, whoever I was traveling with from Melbourne as well, I was like, bro, how dope Sydney, man, like, they've got a crazy scene here, we should come here more often. And, we aspired to, like, return to Sydney often to get a good, hip-hop charge, only to realize that stuff was happening in Melbourne on a more underground level. And then slowly, the frequent trips to Sydney, like over a 10-year period, I reckon, started to regress, and then we realized we didn't need to no longer go to Sydney. We could do that here if we'd help cultivate some kind of movement, some kind of culture. And it's not like we went, right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do what they did in Sydney and we're going to bring it to Melbourne. Nah, it's not that simple, In fact, I think we didn't even really think about that, to be honest. Well, I did. I was just like, how can I get that same energy here? And the way we did it was just by going out to certain nights, representing who we were, being ourselves in bars and clubs. And if we got kicked out, we got kicked out. Move on to the next spot. We didn't really fight for like immediate respect, immediate props. It's like there are other people who deserve those props and that respect for injustices that have been done to them. Whereas we're just some middle class kids that want to break and do cool shit. And we used to be real self-righteous and try to preach in that. But, to back that up, we were at 2-3 different nights a week throwing down. And we built a reputation like that by just getting ourselves out there. And if you look at the kids now, these kids are printing zines. They're doing like hand-drawn illustrations and posters. Flyers are coming back. Yo, flyers are coming back, man. Flyers are coming back. Like, who fucking prints flyers anymore? You know what I mean? So as I reach a 20-minute mark, guys, it's like, we were just talking about Sydney there, and how that shifted to Melbourne. You gotta have your dreams. You gotta have a vision. What is your vision? How do you want to bring things that you've seen, you've been exposed to overseas, rather than like importing it here or bringing that here? How can you cultivate that? You can't just take a template and plop it onto people. It doesn't work, You could try, but then you'd have to take into consideration some of the other cultural things that are required to start a movement. Have a vision. Make things happen. The community starts at home. Starts with your local community. Yeah? If we want to take things to the next level, while we watch the rest of the world crumble and fall because of whatever this bullshit fucking melodramatic opera is going on in the fucking political world, there's happiness around us. Let's gravitate towards that. Let's start building with that. Let's build with a vision in our minds of where we want to go. Cross-pollinate, start speaking to people, get your opinions out, yeah? Don't just fucking argue for argument's sake. Fuck, there's enough of that bullshit. Let's actually make some shit happen. You feel me? Alright. Old school fuckwit. Signing out. Check us. Be sure to check out the other old school fuckwit episodes. There'll be special guests B-Boy Katsu and Willis Straight for the next upcoming episodes. Please feel free to like, dislike, subscribe, unsubscribe, send me hateful comments. I love that. I'm a keyboard warrior. My fingers haven't been exercised for a while. So yeah, peace out.